Hi students, welcome to session 3 of Getting to Know Plants. Students, in the previous session we discussed about the root system, introduction to plants, root systems which have two types, taproot system and fibrous root system, and we also discussed about functions of roots, like roots function as anchoring the plant, absorption of water and nutrients from the soil, preventing soil erosion, and we also discussed that sometimes roots are modified to perform various other functions such as nutrition, reproduction, etc. So to know these functions, we need to study about root modifications. So in today's session, we will discuss about the modifications of root, which are very helpful in performing the functions, very important functions like nutrition, reproduction, etc. So let us start with today's session and learn about root modifications. Yes, students, taproot and adventitious roots, they can get modified into variety of forms to perform various functions. Like taproot, it is the primary and the main root that develops from the organ of a plant which bears many branches and remains underground. For example, in sunflower, mustard, carrot, mango, etc. And adventitious roots are the roots that develop from any part of the plant except the main organ of the plant. So they may be aerial or underground. They may grow from the node, stem cutting, or tree branch, or stem base, which are the fibrous roots. So, like in money plant, bamboo, rose, banyan, and various other plants. So these are the roots that can get modified into a variety of forms, and they can be very helpful to the whole plant. So there are some taproots modification, like they can form conical root, fusiform root, tuberous root, assimilatory roots, epiphytic roots, sucking roots or haustoria, then prop roots, stilk roots, climbing roots, clinging roots or floating roots, and adventitious roots can modify into tuberous roots, fasciculated roots, etc. So these can get modified into various types of roots, or these roots can get modified into various forms to perform various functions. So let us study about them. Yes, roots of some plants are modified to perform additional functions, like we discussed. For storage of food, the roots of some plants such as radish, carrot, turnip, sweet potato and beetroot store food in them and they become fleshy. Here you can see beautiful pictures of such roots which get modified for the storage of food. They perform the function for storage of food. In the same way, there are other modifications too. So let us have a look at it. Yes, for climbing. For climbing, some plants have climbing roots that help the plant to climb up a support, such as a wall, a rock, or a tree. For example, money plant, black pepper, and betel. Here you can see a beautiful picture of a money plant, and here you can see a support. So a money plant always grows with the help of support, such as here there is a support of a hook. So these plants have climbing roots that help the plant to climb up a support. Thereafter comes the nutrition. So there are some plants whose roots get modified into various forms, and perform the function of nutrition. So for nutrition, plants such as dodder have specialized roots called parasitic roots arising from their stem, which help them to absorb water and nutrients from the host plant. So here you can see a beautiful picture of dodder. It has specialized roots. You can see it in very slender roots. So these are parasitic roots. They arise from their stem and it helps them to absorb water and nutrients from the host plant. So they get nutrition from these plants. Then there are roots of some plants such as dahlia and asparagus, which can develop into new plants. So what happens that if the young plant of this parent plant like dahlia and asparagus, if they fall on the soil, they will multiply in numbers, in many numbers, and they will develop into a new plant. So we can say that roots of plants such as dahlia and asparagus can develop into new plants for the function of multiplication, for multiplying into various numbers. Same way, there are other modifications too, like for extra support, roots of plants such as bamboo, sugarcane and banyan give out extra roots from their branches. What happens that these roots flow downwards towards gravity and give extra support to the stem of the plant, and these are called prop roots. So let us have a look at banyan tree, which has prop roots. Yes, here you can see these are the prop roots. These grow downwards and give extra support to the stem of the plant. So here is an amazing picture and an amazing thing which I am going to discuss with you. There is one tree, a great banyan tree in Sitpur, Kolkata, which is more than 200 years old and is forming a crown of over 404 meters in circumference. How amazing it is, and has about 1600 prop roots. No other tree has so much of prop roots. So this is a very amazing thing about banyan tree. Right? So these are some of the fruit modifications. There are other modifications too, so I would like to discuss it with you. Like, there are tap roots which become fleshy for the storage of food. So there are taproot modifications. For the storage of food, as we saw that for storage of food, the roots of some plants such as radish, carrot, turnip, sweet potato and beetroot store food and become fleshy. So they have conical base which is broad and tapers gradually, like in carrot. Then they have fusiform, which is swollen in the middle, tapering towards both the ends, like in radish. So these are some of the examples, like carrot, radish. Then napiform. In napiform, this roots develop spherically at the base, tapering sharply towards the tip, like in turnip. Then comes the tuberous form, in which thick and fleshy roots form with no definite shaped plant, like in a 4 o'clock plant. So these are some of the taproot modifications which become fleshy for the storage of food. There are other modifications also for better gaseous exchange. So the modifications for better gaseous exchange, or rather we can say for gaseous exchange, right? So there are some roots which grow vertically up, like in mangroves. Mangroves or respiratory roots, they grow vertically up into air. They are the marshy plants. Then there are other roots like exposed root tips, which possess rhizopora, minute pores, which possesses minute pores through which roots respire, like in rhizopora. They appear conical spikes which comes out of water. So these are the modifications for gaseous exchange. There are other modifications too, like roots get modified for sucking nutrition from the host plant. So they are known as sucking roots or parasitic plants, which give out sucking haustoria roots or haustoria, which penetrate the living host plant and suck food out of them, like in dodder, cuscuta. So dodder or cuscuta, they are the plants in which the roots get modified for sucking nutrition from host plant. There are other modifications also for strong support, like we saw the prop roots. Roots develop from tree branches, hang downwards, and ultimately penetrate the ground, thus support heavy branches like in banyan tree. Then there are stilt roots, like extra roots developing from nodes near the base of the stem, grow obliquely and penetrate the soil, giving strong anchorage like in sugarcane. Then there are climbing roots, like there are weak climbers which twine around beetle and clasp this support with the help of climbing roots arising from their nodes, like in money plant. Then there are special clinging roots which arise and enter the crevices of support and fix the orchids. So these are the epiphytes, like orchids. There are modifications for buoyancy and respiration too, like there are spongy floating roots. So the modification for buoyancy and respiration are the floating roots. Means these roots float. Spongy floating roots are filled with air and they arise from the nodes of some aquatic plants and help in floating and also in respiration. For example, Juiceae. This is a plant which has floating roots. So this is just for a general knowledge, students. So these are the modifications of some plants, the root modifications of some plants which are modified to perform additional functions like respiration, reproduction, nutrition, etc. Right? So I hope that you enjoyed today's session and learned about many root modifications and many plants which are modified to perform these functions. So we will study about shoot system in the next session. We are done with the root system. We will meet in the next session with this new topic of shoot system. Till then, keep enjoying